Hey, what if I told you that you could make your first $1,000 selling digital products online without any prior experience and without spending money up front? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. Today, I'm going to walk you through a complete roadmap that takes you from zero to your first $1,000, and I genuinely believe you can do this. If you're serious about building an online income stream, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we break down actionable strategies like this every single week. Let's start with the fundamentals. Digital products are some of the most scalable assets you can create because once you build them, you can sell them infinitely without additional production costs. We're talking about online courses, templates, guides, presets, ebooks, Notion dashboards, Canva designs, and so much more. The barrier to entry is incredibly low, which is exactly why now is the perfect time to get started. The first step in your journey is identifying what digital product you should actually create. This is crucial because you can't make money selling something nobody wants. Think about your unique skills, knowledge, or experiences. What can you do better than most people? What questions do people always ask you about? What problems have you solved that others are struggling with? Your digital product should exist at the intersection of three things: something you're good at, something you're genuinely interested in, and something people actually want to pay for. For your first product, I'd recommend staying focused. Don't try to create the most comprehensive course on the planet. Instead, pick one specific problem that you can solve in a clear, step-by-step way. Maybe you're great at social media marketing for small businesses. Maybe you know how to help people overcome anxiety through breathing techniques. Maybe you've mastered a specific software that other people are struggling with. The key is specificity. When you're too broad, you appeal to nobody. When you're laser-focused on solving one problem, you become incredibly valuable to your target audience. Now let's talk about research. Because you don't want to create something in a vacuum. You need to validate that people actually want what you're planning to sell before you spend weeks building it. Start by researching what's already out there. Search for similar products on platforms like Udemy, Gumroad, Creative Market, and Etsy. Look at reviews and ratings. What are people complaining about? What are people praising? This gives you insight into what's working and, more importantly, where the gaps are. Next, engage directly with your target audience. Join Facebook groups, Reddit communities, and Discord servers where your ideal customers hang out. Don't jump in trying to sell anything. Instead, observe the conversations. What questions are people asking repeatedly? What frustrations do they mention? This is gold. You're getting first-hand market research that costs you nothing but time. When you understand your audience's pain points intimately, you can position your product as the solution they've been searching for. Once you've validated that demand exists, it's time to create your first digital product. Here's the thing. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be valuable. Your goal right now is to get your first sale, not to create the most polished professional product ever made. An 80% complete product that solves a real problem for real people will make sales. A 99% complete product that never launches will make $0. Let's say you're creating an online course. You don't need fancy production equipment or expensive software. A simple screen recording tool like OBS or ScreenFlow, a decent microphone, and your knowledge is enough. Break your course into 3 to 5 modules. Each module should teach one specific concept and include actionable steps people can take immediately. People don't want to watch you ramble for 45 minutes. They want concentrated value. Bite-sized lessons that deliver results are what actually get completed and reviewed well. If you're creating a template or a preset or a guide, the same principle applies. Make it functional, make it valuable, and make it clear. You're not trying to win a design award. You're trying to create something that genuinely helps someone solve a problem faster than they could on their own. Now let's address something that stops a lot of beginners: pricing. This is where you need to find the sweet spot between pricing too low and pricing too high. When you're just starting out with zero social proof, you're not going to sell a $2,000 course to someone you've never met before. But you also don't need to price at 99 cents just to make a sale. That's leaving serious money on the table. For your first digital product, I'd recommend starting somewhere between $27 and $97. This price point is low enough that someone will take a chance on you without an extensive track record, but it's high enough that you only need between 11 and 37 sales to hit your $1,000 goal. Compare that to a $5 product where you'd need 200 sales. Which sounds more achievable to you? Pricing is also psychological. A $27 product feels cheap. A $47 product feels like a real purchase, but still accessible. A $97 product feels premium. You want people to feel like they're getting genuine value for their money, but you also want the price to feel substantial enough that they take it seriously and actually use what they've purchased. One more pricing strategy to consider is tiered pricing. Offer your product at one price, but also create a premium bundle or plus version at a higher price point. Maybe your basic course is $47, but a course plus templates plus private community access is $97. This lets customers self-select the value they want while giving you opportunities to hit higher price points with some buyers. You'd be surprised how many people will pay double if you offer them a premium option. Okay, so you've created your product and priced it strategically. Now comes the part that determines whether this whole thing works. You need an audience. You can't sell to people who don't know you exist. Building an audience is about being genuinely helpful before you ever ask for a sale. This is where most people fail, because they want to launch their product on day one and start making money immediately. That's not how this works. You need to spend at least 2 to 4 weeks building an audience before you launch anything for sale. Start by creating valuable free content on the platform where your audience already hangs out. If your target customers are on TikTok, create short videos sharing tips and insights. If they're on YouTube, start posting valuable guides. If they're on Instagram, share actionable carousel posts. If they're in email communities, start showing up in those spaces regularly. The goal of your free content is to establish credibility and provide genuine value with no strings attached. When you consistently help people without asking for anything in return, they start to trust you. They see that you know what you're talking about. They recognize that you actually care about solving their problems. That trust is the foundation that turns an audience member into a paying customer. Let's talk about specific platforms where you can build audience fast without a massive following. Email is incredibly underrated. Start building an email list from day one. You don't need a huge list to make your first $1,000. Even a list of 50 engaged subscribers can generate sales if they know, like, and trust you. Create a simple lead magnet that solves a smaller version of the problem your paid product solves. If your paid course teaches people how to start a freelance business, your free lead magnet could be a simple checklist of the 5 things you need to do before your first client. Make this freely available in exchange for an email address. Use a platform like Behave, ConvertKit, or MailerLite to host it. These platforms have free tiers that will work perfectly for you right now. Social media is another powerful audience-building tool, and here's the thing. You don't need to be famous on social media to make sales. You need to have an engaged micro-audience. An engaged following of 500 people who genuinely care about what you say is infinitely more valuable than 50,000 followers who ignore you. Focus on building genuine community with real people rather than chasing vanity metrics. Share behind-the-scenes content of how you created your product. Share the struggles you faced and what you learned. Share mistakes you've made in your field. Share wins and celebrations with your audience. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with authenticity and relatability. When people see the real you, they start to care about you as a person, not just as someone trying to sell them something. All right, so you have a product, you've priced it, and you're building an audience with free, valuable content. Now let's talk about marketing, which is how you actually make the sale. Marketing isn't manipulation. Real marketing is simply communicating the value of what you've created to the people who need it most. When you're ready to launch your product, don't just post it once and expect people to buy. You need a launch strategy that builds momentum. Start by reaching out directly to your email list. Send them an email explaining why you created this product, what problem it solves, and how it will help them specifically. Make it personal. Make it about them, not about you. Tell them the story of why this product exists, and why now is the right time for them to invest in it. In that email, include a direct link to your sales page, and be clear about what you're asking them to do. Don't be coy about it. People actually want clear calls to action. They want to know exactly what to do next, so tell them. Click here to buy the course. Click here to get the template. Click here to access the guide. Repeat this message across multiple platforms. Post about your product on social media multiple times over the course of a week or 2. Post once, and then people will miss it. Post consistently, and you'll reach different segments of your audience at different times. Post about the problem it solves. Post about your story of creating it. Post about testimonials from beta testers. Post about the investment in the value ratio. Give people multiple reasons and multiple opportunities to make the purchase. Consider reaching out to people in your network who you genuinely think could benefit from your product. This doesn't mean spamming everyone you know. This means thoughtfully identifying people who have the problem your product solves and sending them a personal message explaining why you think your product could help them. Be prepared for no, but be pleasantly surprised by the people who say yes and actually refer others. Another powerful marketing tactic is creating content that directly addresses objections and questions your potential customers might have. If people are hesitant because they don't think they have the time, create content about how your product saves time. If they're worried it won't work for their specific situation, create content showing multiple ways to implement what you teach. If they're unsure about the investment, create content about the return on investment. Now here's something that'll genuinely help. Like this video if this roadmap is making sense and giving you clarity about what to actually do. The more of you who engage with this content, the more people I can help with this exact strategy. Let's talk about some specific platforms where you can sell these products without taking a huge commission. Gumroad is fantastic because they only take 10% commission, and they handle all the payment processing. You can upload your product, set your price, and start selling within minutes. The interface is incredibly user-friendly for beginners. Creative Market is perfect if you're selling templates, presets, fonts, or designs. Etsy works great for digital products, though they take a slightly larger percentage. Teachable or Thinkific are excellent if you're building an online course and want more advanced features like drip content, student engagement, and community features. For your first product, though, I'd honestly recommend starting with Gumroad because it's the simplest. Here's another critical component: customer service and feedback. When someone buys your product, treat them like gold. Respond to their questions quickly. If they're confused about something, help them. If they leave feedback, listen to it. Your first paying customers are your best market researchers. They'll tell you what's working and what could be improved. Use this feedback to improve your product and create better products down the line. One thing that really accelerates sales is social proof. After your first few sales, ask those customers if they'd be willing to share a quick testimonial about their experience. This can be a simple written testimonial, or even better, a short video or voice memo where they explain how your product helped them. When potential customers see that real people have already benefited from your product, they're much more likely to purchase. Let's also talk about some common mistakes to avoid on this journey. First, don't overthink product selection to the point of never launching. The perfect product idea doesn't exist. The idea that exists and actually gets created is always better than the perfect idea that stays in your head. Get something out there, validate it with real sales, and iterate based on feedback. Second, don't underestimate the power of reaching out to people directly. Yes, organic reach on social media is declining. Yes, algorithms are getting harder to beat. But you know what never gets filtered by an algorithm? A personal email or message from you to someone you know. Start there. Your first sales will likely come from your warm network, not from strangers on the internet. Third, don't give your product away for free when you should be selling it. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but underpricing your offer actually hurts you. It signals that your product isn't valuable. It attracts the wrong customers who are just looking for something cheap rather than something genuinely helpful. Price your product as if it's valuable, because it is. Fourth, don't launch and then disappear. Keep creating free, valuable content even after you launch your paid product. Keep engaging with your audience. Keep building trust. Your audience is your business, and you need to nurture it constantly. The money follows the audience, not the other way around. All right, let's bring this all together. Your roadmap to your first $1,000 selling digital products is this. First, identify a specific problem you can solve. Second, validate that people actually want a solution to that problem. Third, create a valuable product that solves that problem. Fourth, price it strategically between $27 and $97. Fifth, build an audience by creating free, valuable content for 2 to 4 weeks. Sixth, launch your product with a strategic marketing campaign across multiple channels. Seventh, collect testimonials and feedback from your first customers. Eighth, use that feedback to improve and create better products. The beautiful thing about this roadmap is that it doesn't require you to spend money up front. You just need time, effort, and genuine desire to help people. If you can commit to this process, you'll hit your first $1,000 sooner than you think. Some of you will do it in a month. Some will take 3 months. It depends on how much effort you put in and how aligned your product is with your audience's needs. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What problem could you potentially solve for people? And what digital product could you create to solve it? I'm genuinely curious about what ideas you're considering. Drop your answer in the comments below because I read every single one, and your comment might even inspire the next video I create.